Okay folks, I wanted to show you something here. You're not going to believe this. Proof positive that stone fruits will grow in Florida, Zone 9B. That right there is a Santa Rosa plum tree. This came from Stark Brothers Nursery about 2 years ago. It was a Standard Supreme 5/8 inch caliper trunk, or 5/8 inch caliper dormant tree. So the diameter of the trunk was about 5/8 of an inch. You can see how much it's grown in a year or so. But this spring there was one piece of fruit, and I pollinated it with some pollen from some of my other plums. I think it was the Shiro plum trees that I made a previous video about. But you can see that it actually took one, and it is now ripening. It is a beautiful piece of fruit. It's very pretty, beautiful dark deep purple, deep red color. It's not completely ripe yet. It's in the process of ripening. I would say another week or so. I don't know if it has any insect bites or anything like that. I have to check it. Doesn't look rotten or anything like that. But there you have it, a Santa Rosa plum from my Santa Rosa plum tree from Stark Brothers Nursery, East Central Florida, Zone 9B. Let me just pan out a bit here. I put in some new trees the other day, substituted. One of them died. What was here was a Lapins cherry that died. So I put in the ground in its spot a Persian black mulberry. This came from Trees of Antiquity in California. I love raspberries, but the soil pH in my garden is not low enough for any kind of raspberries or blackberries or anything like that. So those things require a pH of about 5 or so. pH around the yard here is anywhere between 7 and 7.5. So this mulberry has no problem with that pH. So it's about the closest thing I can get to a blackberry that'll grow in my garden. So there you have it. I hope to be harvesting black mulberries. These are actually supposedly pretty good. They're kind of tart and sweet at the same time, which is what I like. Unlike the everlasting mulberries, which are always, they're like, it's just like biting into a piece of sugar. It's too sweet. This thing has a little more flavor profile. So I hope to be making jams from this in the near future. Let me pan out around here. Here's another Lapins that also came from Trees of Antiquity. I don't know what to expect of this. I bought this before the other one died, thinking that the other one might hang on and that I could use it to, you know, increase my yields, but that didn't work out. So it'll take a couple years before I know whether this will survive or not. So where are we going here? Let me just pan out a bit here. You can see that I have about 4 plum trees, 4 Santa Rosa plums. I love Santa Rosa plums. They're beautiful plum trees, and they're also very, very tasty. So you can see there's one there. There's another one there. There's the one in between there. It's a smaller one that's also came from Stark Brothers, and one off in the distance. This one right here, this is a Stark Brothers tree. That one right there, that came from fastgrowingtrees.com a few years ago. I do not recommend them, by the way. You should stay away from them. The one next to it, the little one, that's also came from Stark Brothers. It's bought about maybe 4 months after I bought this. I bought the first Stark Brothers Santa Rosa, and it had problems last year because of where I had planted it. I had planted it on the side of the house in the heat. It was next to a wall, so the south, setting sun would heat up that wall, and it would radiate that heat out, and it would just cook the leaves. The branches would die out. They'd grow out and then they'd die. So this year, when it was dormant in the winter, I moved it out and put it here, and look at how well it's doing. I mean, these trees can tolerate heat, but there's a limit to how much they'll be able to tolerate. And you certainly don't want to plant it near any walls or anything like that, because the reflected heat, the infrared being generated from the solar radiation hitting on the wall, it's just going to cook. It's going to cook the tender leaves when they come out. So you need to move it away from concrete structures or any structure that can reflect heat or absorb heat. And you have another Santa Rosa plum. That one, that big one, that came from fastgrowingtrees.com. This tree, I think, is the source of the cytospore canker in my yard. I didn't know, but they sent it to me years ago, and I think it had that fungus growing inside the trunk, and it's now spread to all the other trees, unfortunately. So it's a management problem now. I can't get rid of it, but I can hopefully manage it and cut out infected sections every spring. We'll see how it goes. But there you have it. I just wanted to show you my beautiful Santa Rosa plum. There she is. Beautiful Santa Rosa plum. Yippee! Look at that. Okay, signing off. East Central Florida, Zone 9B. Bye.